What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we do our best to be the bridge between our fellow real estate investors, entrepreneurs alike, and the cryptocurrency world because crypto is the biggest opportunity of our lifetimes. I'm telling you, we really feel that down to our bones, and maybe this is the last month or two to be able to really get those life-changing goals to put your money in. We don't give financial advice. We don't know. Corey, take it away. What do you think?
Absolutely. We're just going to, talk about what we're doing with our money. We're not going to give financial advice, but we're going to bring along some of our friends, some of our family members. I know some of you guys are following along here in the chat. Well, we're going to use crypto as that wealth creation tool and then use some real estate and some real world assets when the time is right for some wealth preservation. And we got some cool stuff that we'll talk about that as the next few weeks unfold here. But like, man, I tell you, I feel like not this month, July, but August. I feel like August could be, and this is me speculating in my own money. That's all it is. And I'm wrong all the time, Dane. By the way, like I'm always wrong. Like it's like I don't know how many times I've called bottom on the show, right? Like, and then it goes lower. It's like, oh, okay, well, eventually, my bottom call will be in profit if I keep calling bottom. But man, I don't know, man. I think for my money, I will be doing a DCA this month in August. But I feel like, man, that could be one of the last DCAs. I mean, it doesn't mean that we're gonna shoot up to the moon like in September. But these very low prices, Pulse being at like 4 zeros and a 4, Pulse X at 4 zeros, 2, 4, Inc at $2.50. Like, could be one of the last opportunities to snag up those prices. You might be able to get it a little bit higher and still have some good prices. But yeah, and the news, man, as we move through time, it's really remarkable. It shocks me how the cycle plays. Like, you don't need to tell me the news. I'm starting to see that now. Like the cycle just plays out. Now I love Hans. He always says time is more important than the number. Time is the most important thing. And when you're doing analysis, and it's really remarkable because we have this SEC news that just came out today. At least I think it came out today. I noticed it today. It could have come out yesterday. Who knows? But they're saying they're not going to no longer go after like Solana, Cardano, these other altcoins that the centralized exchanges were selling. They're no longer going to pursue them as securities. Binance is another one that was on that list where they said they were selling securities. They're no longer going to pursue the altcoins. And man, you want to talk about stacking up, the L's or stacking up the W's for our community. I mean, I just don't know what else could, can you guys see the greater picture? Can you put the puzzle pieces together? It's not hard, right? This is going to be, man, if something like Donald Trump, and I don't want to get political on the show, everyone has their own rights to believe in whatever they want. And I hate talking politics, religion. I have my own beliefs in both of those, but it's like the worst thing to talk about on the public. But man, if he gets in office, I don't know, guys. And then you get remember I always talk about, Dane, the 4 rocket thrusters for us to go into the moon. You got ETH inflows, right? Which that started, even though we've got a kind of buy the rumor, sell the news going on right now. You get SEC clarity, which, man, I don't know how you guys don't see it. It's happening. I don't think it's going to make it past October. I could be wrong. Him streaming again, privacy pools. I love privacy pools, man. I had a long conversation with our Colin Talks Crypto about this, and he is absolutely bullish on it. And I love it too because it allows whales to come in and actually, participate without people front running. Whales are human beings too. They don't want to be front run by all our buddies, and that's what our buddies do. Let's front run. So we need privacy pools. But man, imagine adding in the 5th rocket booster of Trump getting into office. I just don't know where we'd go. I mean, you guys want that 100x? You might get it. I don't, maybe more. I don't know. It's hard to speculate and think about where we could go. There's a saying, crypto can go lower than you can possibly ever imagine. And it can go higher than you possibly can ever imagine. That means like we went lower than like we would have ever anticipated, even with Pulse Chain launching, right? Like no one would have ever thought we would be like under the SAC price for multiple months, right? So this is like going lower than we possibly could have ever imagined. Pulse X got 90% off, although I think Pulse X is a dark horse. But I mean, it went 95% off. And then, we could go higher than you possibly could, man. And I can't imagine, right? Like, it's even hard for me to comprehend 100x. It really is. It's hard for my brain to comprehend that. I can comprehend like what you do with the money. I see Crypto 7 in here. He talks about going to Monaco. Like, I love that. I would love to visit Monaco. That's a place that I would love to go visit. That's exotic. You could dream of the money stuff that you would do, but it's hard for me to imagine, Dane, that Pulse X chart with green candles, 100x. I don't know, man. That is just hard to conceptualize. For me, it is, anyways. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting. I thought it was really fascinating. In fact, let me pull up. Let me move over here and pull this up. But man, I mean, did you see the dates of when I saw the filing? And apparently the SEC was going to negotiate the time for which they were winding down the look into other altcoins. Did you see a date on that? I did not see one.
No, I have not. Sami did a video on it this morning, though, and I've been intending to watch that video. It's been busy. He did a full video on it. Maybe he'll talk about it in there. No, I don't know. Well, I'd imagine it would happen like with Binance. Like, that case is getting dropped as we speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then CZ's I think he's out of jail next month, and then it's just back to business like normal for Binance and CZ. It's funny, man. They paid a $4 billion traffic fine. He went and served time in a cushy, I'm sure it was a very cushy cell, right? He's not in there with all the crazies, I bet he's not. And he gets out and he gets to conduct business like normal. And that was a DOJ case. Look how severe that was. That was DOJ. And if you guys can't, like, once again, I said it before, if you can't put the puzzle pieces together and you fall for the FUD and all the sentiment on Twitter that's just negative, and all the guys who MF Richard Hart and MF Pulse Chain, and they even though they're building here, they'll MF it. It's real funny how that works. I'm like, well, go build somewhere else, man. They got a lot of blockchains. We can choose from. And a lot of them will do well, I'm sure, right? Like Solana. Solana will do just fine, I'm sure, in the next altcoin season. If you want to be in Solana, go build in Solana, right? But if you guys can't put the puzzle pieces together, I don't know what to tell you. This is, for me, there's signs from the universe that you get shown to me. I've learned how to kind of recognize those through my entrepreneurial journey. And these are, they've never been any stronger, Dane.
It's bananas, yeah. And the idea that essentially, here we go. That's what I wanted to find right here.
Find the time.
I just wanted to share the tweet. I thought it was good. Here we go. Okay, I'll drag us out of the way. Okay. So here's Sami. He says, corrupt SEC seeks to no longer prove that tokens such as Solana are securities. Corrupt SEC informed Binance it intends to seek leave to amend its complaint. Earlier in 2023, SEC said ADA, HEX, and other tokens are securities. Definitely relevant to Richard Hart here. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, it says the SEC informed defendants that it intends to seek leave to amend its complaint, including with respect to the third-party crypto asset securities as defined in the SEC's yada, 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 obviating the need for the court to issue a ruling as to the sufficiency of the allegations as to those tokens at this time. The parties met, conferred, and have agreed to the following proposed schedule for briefing on a motion to amend and related pleadings.
So you'd be looking for that briefing next.
Yeah.
Next, what happens next, right? Yeah.
And they're saying with that amendment, I mean, the judge doesn't even need to rule on the tokens themselves because they're changing that, which is a big deal. We talked about it a lot here on the show, how the biggest issue, in my opinion, with Richard's Hart case, and it has been this from the beginning, is the fraud allegation. It's not the actual cryptocurrencies, it's the fraud allegation. And so time and time again, we're seeing more and more things that would lead or could lead a person to say, hey, the case against Richard just continues to get weaker. I think that's absolutely the case. My question is, what do they want to do with the fraud allegation? And that could lead us just to kind of pushing that out longer.
Sure. You definitely want to prepare for that type of scenario. I mean, we don't know what they have on Richard in that regard, but like, if I know Richard and we know he did this with the adoption amplifier, like he loves using rinsers and he loves mixers, right? And I don't know if they could prove that 12 million, I think it was 12 million for that diamond came from, but even then, Dane, you're saying that you did a raise. If it's a commodity that you did a raise for, I don't think it falls under the same like rules.
That's a good point. I think you're right. Yeah.
If it's not a security, the fact that he did it would X out what he did with them. I think I'm not a lawyer, right? But yeah, it's interesting.
It is. It's really interesting. This is a good Duke of Booze. Cherry Gensler testifies the rules are clear, yet his SEC can't figure them out and applies them haphazardly, festering more industry confusion. Credit to Cointelegraph for that quote. That is absolutely the case and has been for, a good 24 months. It'll be nice to get some clarity there. Be nice to freaking have him out of office. In fact, I would go so far as to say that we've seen how Kamala and the Democrats have been reaching out to crypto companies to try to make amends there. If I was one of the crypto companies that they were trying to make amends with, like a Coinbase, when I would say, hey, as making amends, we want Gary out of office. We don't want him out of office next year. We want him out now. Like, then make amends.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers, if you want to make amends,
then
make it right and get him out. We need to do that now.
Right. And I want to comment on this one, Dane. And, because it's his freaking blockchain, man. He can pump and dump all he wants. He doesn't even need to pump us. Like, if you watch, though, he pumps us right in the altcoin season, and then he dumps us. If he is dumping us, you got to come out with allegations of that. And you got to prove it. But, like, he's acting as a market maker. And I'm okay with that because it gave me the opportunity to scoop up massive bags here in these lows so I can actually compete with these sharks and dolphins in the ecosystem. Had he just pumped it to the moon forever, I would never be able to compete with you guys. Never. I would have never had the opportunity. I would have been out. And so, like, he's acting as a market maker. He's doing good by the market. He's doing good by the community. He pumps it when everything else is pumping, and then he lets it correct when everything else is correcting, right on track with the market cycle. Once again, you got to put the puzzle pieces together. You got to look at the greater picture. You got to look at the market cycles. Where are we at in the cycle? And the next altcoin season is coming up at the end of the year. And I would go to say, okay, if nothing pumps in Pulse Chain at the end of the year, okay, then you might have an argument. But with everything that like we talk about on here, like I said, the ETF inflows coming in with, and by the way, guys, I know 318,000 wallets that like to buy our stuff. I'm adding Godwill in there too. There's 318,000. Ethereum. 318,000 Ethereum that likes to buy our stuff from the ETF inflows. Everyone's always like 170. No, it's more than 170. We don't even know how much Bitcoin he has. I know he probably had some Bitcoin from the Mt. Gox because he talked about it on his Twitter. And so, like ETF inflows, we said that hit some SEC clarity. You don't think if SEC clarity happens, other whales would come in and start buying? Oh, you better believe it. Because now they're comfortable again. They like that Nick Cherry guy, right? Like he had billions upon billions and tons of billions, and he started selling when the SEC stuff came out, and you would see maybe guys like that buy back in when the clarity happens. You know, him streaming. I think him streaming would pump us harder than him pumping it with his own money. That's controversial, and people would argue with me on that. But I think him streaming, because it would instill leadership into the community. You wouldn't have these guys on Twitter fudding all over the place and building these. It's just stupid, right? What I see on Twitter. You would have that camaraderie and leadership. He'd be beating the drum and leading us and rolling us in the same direction. Everyone needs leadership in their life. Companies need it. That's why you have CEOs and COOs, and it's everywhere in life. You need leadership. And then, of course, like I said, privacy pools, so that way he's not getting front run. That's another. Why would he want to pump us when everyone's always front running him? He gets front run by our friends too. Like we have buddies who front run him every time, and they buy as he's coming over the bridge, and they sell into him as he buys. Like this, it's BS. Why would he want to buy? Like, I would want to wait till I have privacy pools before I'd go and start executing a lot more buy orders. And so that, and once again, I'm adding in the Donald Trump. If he becomes president, that's the 5th rocket that's going to send us to the moon.
Yeah, and think about it in general, right? As far as market making goes. So if you're a big giant whale putting money in places that you're hopeful that do numbers, right? You're putting money in at times that you feel are opportune with the hope that the market responds to the stimulation. The market comes in and buys more, and you're testing it. And so, I can't speak to Richard and what he's doing with his wallet. I don't know, but in general market making, if you have a huge stack, you're testing, you're saying, hey, if I inject here, will the market take this and run? Can we get some multiples here? If it's not giving you the response that you want, well, then you extract it back out and you try again at another time that you think, okay, let's try here and let's see. Like that's how I would do it. Now, I'm not, right? I don't sit on $1 billion and doing those types of activities. I'm just speaking out of my rear end here. I don't know what these guys do, but that would make a lot of sense to manage things that way. And and so we're patiently waiting.
Agreed. Yeah, RH recommends buying ETH over BTC. What does that mean for the ecosystem? Exactly. I mean, he obviously owns a lot more Ethereum probably than he does BTC. At least that we speculate on, right? We don't know what he owns in BTC. We don't know what he has in other wallets. I mean, I alone have 9 wallets. Like me alone. So like I have my transactional wallet. That way, like if I get doxxed and people see me, okay, fine, you can track my stuff, whatever. And then like I'm doing, I don't keep a lot of money in there. Like, we don't know about wallets that he's not disclosed. We just don't know. Or maybe there's none. I mean, we don't know.
Yep. It'll be fun. Like Sami says this a lot. He's like, you gotta believe. What do you believe in? Where do you want to place your bets? I'm telling you guys, I've looked at full disclosure. I've looked at placing money in lots of other places as we've gone through the SEC FUD, as we've gone through, the bear market. I've looked at lots of places and said, am I missing something here? And I just don't feel like I am. I mean, literally, I went and sat in front of the Solana charts to see if there are some memes that I could catch there, see if I was missing out on some. I sat there. Now, there wasn't a ton of research, to be fair, but one night, like I sat there for an hour and a half, and I watched the charts. I just sat deck screener on all the new stuff to see what was launching, and I was tracked all of it, and every single one, at least during that time frame, was a rug pull right out of the gate or a rug pull within 45 minutes or less. Like it was bananas. And so that's so common out there. Where else are you going to go and feel like A, charts are bottomed or near a bottom, and B, where are you going to go and, have confidence that somebody that built the ecosystem really has your best interest at heart? I just can't find a better place. In fact, we were doing some charting over with our mastermind the other day, and one of the guys was asking about buying Solana. And if you go and you look at the chart, I mean, if you want to go buy it. You look at the chart, though, in relationship to what's on a bigger discount. All the RH tickers are at a better, deeper discount than Solana. And so, your job as an investor, if your goal is to make money, is to find things that are discounted as heavily as possible with good upside. The market's not valuing them well. And my money is on the RH tickers for that.
Yeah, spotting. It's our job as investors to spot opportunity,
Yep.
and that's how you do
Yeah,
it.
this was a great tweet. I like this, D Nice. Yeah, did you guys see the RH tweet about how some Mountain Cox Bitcoin might be used to buy Pulse Chain? Yeah, definitely. And I think he talked about it buying Ethereum as well. I mean, I feel like you said, Corey, the writing's on the wall. It's just a matter of like what do you believe in and where do you want to place your bets? And gosh, if you guys would sell off the middle of next month when my rental sells, so I can get some so I get some better entry points, I'd really appreciate that. So feel free to do what you
Not
will.
them. The toxic crypto Twitter. They can go sell it off, and they're yeah, let them do it. These guys here, these guys got diamond hands. These guys got the right mental framework to be a cryptocurrency investor.
That's right. That's right. So big things to come. I mean, the data is the data. In fact, we could look at this. I think these are always interesting to look at. So you look at the RH tickers. Here's the pulse chain chart as of right now. I mean, look at this. You're only from today's price. And once again, this is kind of rough, but if we measure from today's price down to the low, you're roughly only 28% from the lows. Like, it doesn't get much cheaper than that. You look at something like PulseX,
Oh yeah.
you're only, what are you on PulseX? You're only what, about a 20 or no, you're almost a 2x off the bottom, which still isn't that much.
A lot
Something
of
like
things.
yeah, like you're just at a heavy discount still, and I know people have said this forever, but I think it's true. Like I just don't think these discounts are going to be here forever. And so you got to make a decision. But gosh, you look at something like Hex, talk about a discount. What are you here? You're only 30% off the bottom on PHEX, and something like Ink. Let's look at Ink.
It's
Ink and
like a 4x
PulseX.
bottom or something of
Yeah.
that nature.
What are you? You're, yeah, off the bottom here. You're about, yeah, you're about a 5x, almost a 6x off the bottom there. So, you know, opportunity everywhere. This is pretty interesting, this ink chart. Now, I know this is in USD terms, but I think it's interesting to look at all the data. I mean, look at price respecting the 786 level here. It broke above it. It's hanging out there right now. Will it hold? Bounce right off the 086, 088 level. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yep. Yep. That's probably local bottom. Probably.
Yep.
I mean, look at that structure.
It's just holding beautifully in relationship to Pulse. It's just running sideways since, what is this about? What is that? Beginning-ish of March. What was that? March,
Yeah.
April, May, June. Almost 5 months just hanging out. One of the plays we've talked about publicly here, and this isn't like a big secret, but I think it's a cool thing to look at. If you look at Ink versus PulseX, they're running pretty well in lockstep right now, or have been for a little while. So you and I, Corey, have both been. You were the one that talked about this first, so shout out to Corey for bringing this up. But man, we've both been providing liquidity, earning a little bit of ink over there in the Ink PulseX pool.
Got a bit of a red candle today on the price chart, but nothing crazy. When it's risk off, that goes down. When it's risk on, meaning when things are pumping, that chart goes up.
Right. But look at this. It's pretty slick. I mean, from right about, what is this? I think we called this pretty darn close. This is July 10th. It's been running pretty July 10th to July 30th. I mean, you've almost got, what is that, 2/3 of a month? Just been running pretty close to sideways. Not much in permanent loss in this little range right here. That's when I started. I think it was literally right in here is when I started providing liquidity. This whole range right here is a pretty reasonable one to be looking at to be providing liquidity, in my opinion, on that pair. Yeah.
Overall,
so mitigate your impermanent loss. Be smart about how you provide liquidity, but been a little opportunity to earn a little bit of ink here, which has been cool.
During a sideways market, that's the time you're supposed to be doing this. You don't do this during a bull run.
Right. And I still think we've got some time. I mean, I would argue probably. I think this stuff runs. I think Ink and PulseX run pretty close to each other, probably into next month sometime. So maybe another
Yep,
month to be
I
able to hang
agree.
out in the pool and earn a little bit of ink, which is cool. I think the pool's throwing off like 30% APR, so it's not bananas, you know what I mean? But earn a little bit extra and hang out and get, mitigate your impermanent loss. Not a bad gig.
Agreed, 100%. Yeah, cultivate crypto. That's agreed, 100%. PulseX is holding up solid at the moment, man. That price chart has held up so incredibly well. Where it had the first pump in that little mini pre-having altcoin season we had at the beginning of the year, and then it retraced and it made a nice lower high, and it's just been sitting on that lower high, and it's just created a nice floor. And so I think, yeah, excuse me, guys, I'm a little under the weather today. That's why I've been coughing. But I think, man, the PulseX is a dark horse. I think the PulseX maxis are going to end up winning, and some OGs are going to be really pissed off. I'm putting that out there, just because that's how crypto works. It does the opposite of what you think. Like I see all the like in the one room, there's all the FUD with like, oh, it's just a DEX. A DEX token can't be half of what the L1 is, or a third of an L1. A market cap, it's just a DEX. Like, guys, there's no rhyme and reason in crypto. Crypto has no rationale to it, and things do things just because. Like, you don't need the rationale, and that's why the utility stuff is like suffering so much right now. So many people, they bought into the utility stuff, and like it's not pumping. The market's not, it's not liking it, and it's funny. It's funny how it's unfolding, and we got another good push or two pushes up, and we could be wrong. Maybe Hex and Pulse comes up on top. I'm cool with it, but man, PulseX, I bet you ends up being the dark horse and pissing a lot of people off.
Right.
Oh, it's so funny, man. This markets are funny, especially in crypto.
Yeah. Yeah, this is spot on. Yeah, people want to shield their bags. That's why you see Richard on Twitter telling everybody to sell their Bitcoin for Ethereum. He wants that ETH price to recover, get him back in profit on that trade, and potentially have some more firepower there. Absolutely. Yep, this is absolutely the case. All the utility stuff is dead for the time being. For the time being.
Now, Tetra, if it ever launches, you could do buy the rumor, sell the news on that. If it ever launches, but we'll see. I still have a bag of it. Brizology. If you think I'm an ink maxi, you should see my PulseX bag. Oh, you're not one of the OGs, man, that dumped it and said that a DEX token can't be half the market cap of a layer one.
Now, to be fair, this would be the first time where a DEX token would be valued in such degree in relationship to the L1, the very first time. So does it
Crypto
stay
has
there?
no rationale.
I agree.
The meme coins taught me that. The meme coins this season taught me that crypto has no rationale whatsoever. If people in the market wants to value PulseX because the buy and burn narrative, and because maybe a wallet likes to buy that, if people want to buy it, and we saw it, man. We saw when the OA, or it was a wallet that could have maybe or maybe not been in the OA. It's Greg the Duck who was buying Hex, and something I really noticed was when he was pumping Hex, all that liquidity flowed out into PulseX and Ink. That's the market speaking to you. That's the market speaking to you. You got to listen. Doesn't mean that he won't moon Hex. He probably will. But still.
I think that's an interesting take. Smart thing to do would be to pump PulseX and not pump Pulse so gas fees don't go high. That'd be the best thing to do. I mean, you could naturally with the liquidity bonding, all the RH tickers benefit when one of them pumps. And so, in general, pumping any of them is beneficial for all of them. But yeah, this is an interesting theory. I don't think it's a crazy idea.
Yeah. I think Pulse will be fine. I think Pulse will beat Hex. But we'll see. I might be wrong.
bold claims, sir. The Hex Maxis will crucify you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, you know where my bags are at, right? Like, you can tell where my bags are weighted towards. But and I have a nice Hex bag. I do. So
Yeah, this is another interesting take. Yeah, Briz says there's more people that sacrifice for Pulse X, and so you benefit more people by pushing it up. That's not a bad
kind
point.
of, but a lot of those people got washed out, Briz. I mean, the market cap of Pulse X at launch was like, it was something ridiculous. It was $1 or $2 or $3 billion. I don't remember what it was, but like now it's like $250 million or maybe even lower than that. And so you have that. That means a lot of those people are gone. Which, see ya. Like, I'll gladly take your gains for you. If you want to go over to Solana, that's fine. But yeah.
Oh man, that was one of the biggest lessons from the bear market, in my opinion. And I can't tell you how many streams before Pulse Chain launched. Some of these guys went around. We won't name names. You guys will know who they are. But they said, "Who's gonna sell at a loss, bro? They're gonna sacrifice. Who will sell at a loss? Nobody will sell at a loss." Well,
Everybody.
the market loves to sell at losses. Apparently, everyone apparently will, because freaking a lot of people.
Once again, because crypto's irrational. It's not a rational marketplace. And so you have things that pump that make no effing sense, and things that, that don't pump, that should pump. Like, it's irrational, man. Don't try to figure out the market. And the market's smarter than you. It's smarter than you. Why try to play that game that you think you can outsmart the market? Even with my bags, I think, like, I look at my bags, I'm like, okay, what happens if the narrative doesn't play out this time where Pulse X and Ink doesn't pump the hardest? What if I'm wrong? What if it is Pulse and Hex that pumps the hardest? And I ask those questions to myself to make sure I'm making very, at least smart decisions by me, right? It's never financial advice on the show. It's all just me speculating on my money. But I want to make sure, like Dane always says, not have any blind spots, because in this market, God, there's blind spots everywhere.
Everywhere. That's the truth.
You can't get out. Yeah, you cannot guess it, man.
Duke of Booze, I think that's a great take. Yeah, too many have home run mentality in traditional markets. The majority be happy just getting on base. Absolutely.
Yep, 100%.
And we talked about this too a lot, like getting on base. If you could just get enough money, like imagine if you could just get a year's worth of income or a couple years worth of income. Like maybe you're not a millionaire, maybe you don't have 10 million bucks, but gosh, like if you could buy yourself some breathing room to be able to make some different decisions, maybe build a business, or maybe take some time off and travel and reset, maybe pivot to a different job. Like there's so many things that you could do with just getting on base to second or third, like put yourself in a really good spot.
100%. And I agree, Crypto 7. The lower we go, because the more we wash out, the higher we can go, because you have less sellers in the way up. It's really a remarkable thing how crypto works in that regard. It's like we don't want all the selling to happen and the red candles to happen, but like then by the end of the movie, it was the best thing for us, because it got all the Nick Cherries out, right? It got those guys who had big bags. And those sharks, these sharks, they have these big bags of Pulse X, Hex. That money, it gets dispersed down into a bunch of dolphins and a bunch of turtles, right? And so it's spread out more evenly inside the marketplace, and so it actually is a beneficial thing. So it sucks in the moment. It's like, God, can we stop with the red candles already? Mm-hmm. It sucks, but like at the end of the movie, it was the best medicine that we could have had, and it gives you the opportunity. I want to be the guy who's able to build a bag that has life-changing gains, because I do believe, I do see the vision. I do see the pieces of the puzzle, and like, give me the opportunity to come in here. I don't have $1 million to throw in all at once. I need a DCA as I'm making money in the real world. I got to do things in the real world to get money into crypto. And I can't just like all in $1 million, but like I can come in slowly over time, right? While we're having these red candle monthly red candles, it gives me plenty of time to come in and buy the bottom, if you will. I mean, here Dane might be able to put a real estate deal that he's getting ready to sell into Paul's chain. He would have never afforded him that opportunity if it was all nothing but green candles since January. He'd be out like, okay, well, my bags were what my bags were. That was it. Like, the opportunity would have been never given to him. And now he does get the opportunity. Yeah. And so it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It does suck in the moment. I get it. But I think the real believers here, you will be greatly rewarded.
Yeah.
Not financial advice.
Do you think RH is richer than Elon? I don't think so.
If Paul's chain did 100x and you added up all the OA wallets,
then maybe.
But it's not money he can't access. I don't know if he can really count that because it's not like money he could tap into. Even if he wanted to sell it, he's not extracting that value. You know what I mean? You only have so much value
against it. You could borrow against it. I bet if you went to a crypto friendlier. Now I don't know about the DeFi applications for borrowing against it, but you could probably take something like that to a less traditional bank and show them the assets, and they give you, maybe they give you 10% on the dollar value or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think that would make him richer than Elon. Then he would.
No, I agree. Yeah. I don't think he's. Yeah, agreed. Definitely higher IQ comments. We appreciate you guys. Seriously, I feel like we've got I feel like a lot of the best people in the community come and attend here, and we were able to have better discussion, which is nice. If we started shilling meme coins every day, that would change very drastically. And so,
and if you started getting that people and talking bad about people and shitting where you eat every day,
right. So true.
The audience would change really quick.
Yep.
Yeah, Crystal 7 is a point. There's a possibility Michael Saylor, freaking Donald Trump gets in the office and nation states start buying this stuff up like crazy. I mean, there's something to be said that Michael Saylor.
He might, man. It's wild. I mean, seriously, they're talking about a competition, and make no mistake about it. These other countries, they're listening too. They're hearing a Donald Trump say, and they're hearing an RFK Jr. say, well, what if we made Bitcoin a currency reserve? Imagine ruining your currency where you've got to take your money and buy a different currency to try to make up for all the mistakes that you messed up with yours. Like, it's just bananas.
It is. Speaking of meme coins, we got Frank Conversation shilling meme coins in the chat. What's up, Frank? How you doing, buddy?
Yep.
Yeah, but California people suck, Briz. Briz says there's only 21 million Bitcoin and there's 40 million people in California alone. Man, Californians don't get it. You get it. RG3 gets it. Man, you Californians are crazy.
Yeah, not enough for everyone. It's fascinating.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. But that's just going to flow over into all the entire crypto space.
Mm-hmm. Cool, Corey. Well, we've covered all the comments pretty thoroughly today. I think we talked about a lot of good things. Probably a good place to wrap. What do you think?
Yeah, let's wind it. I'm not feeling too great today. Started feeling crappy last night when I was going to bed, and now I got this cough. I'm just like, ugh. And I'll get over it. It's I think it's because, and we talked about this before the show, because I was running and gunning for 2 weeks nonstop with my family out here, and so Silicon Valley gets it. Yeah, all those guys out there on the tech stuff. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
you have not covered my comment. What did Raymond say, Dane? Let's cover his comment before we hop off.
You have not covered my comment. Let's see.
Donald Trump gets into office. Are you guys tripping? Oh, yeah. I mean, if he can stay alive, man, I don't know. He's got to stay alive. That's the biggest. They already tried to kill him, so he's got to stay alive.
Yeah, agreed.
Either way, even if he doesn't, the fact that the sentiment is shifting on both political parties because he's forcing it is, a different story, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
This could be one. Yeah. I mean, I think they have to, right? Like, once again, if you're one of these crypto companies, if you're a Coinbase, if you're a Binance, and essentially the current administration has just shit on you for the last 4 years, and now they're trying to make inroads, what would be your first demand? Well, my first one would be get this MFer out of the SEC. We're done with this. If you want to have
yeah,
any inroads, that's step one. And not next year, now. We want him gone this month. No
yeah.
ifs, ands, or buts about it. Gone.
Oh,
I don't care
wow.
what you have to do. That would be my response if I'm Coinbase. I'd give them the big middle finger and say, this is step one, but we're not friends. Make no mistake about it. This is step one of getting to a place where we're more friendly, but we don't forget what you did these last 4 years. Make no mistake about it. And so
Yeah.
this would be step
It's
one.
only
So
going to be good for a small period of time, which might be the narrative of how the bear market comes back and everything just gets absolutely demolished.
mm, mm.
That might be how all plays out. We'll see. It's going to be a fun journey no matter what.
Yeah. Yep. That'll be good. Cool, guys. Well, once again, like Crypto7 said, if you guys would please smash the likes, subscribes on your way out. If you have not already, we're here to pump everybody's bag. We appreciate you guys attending. We always have a good conversation. You guys make the show what it is. So seriously, we appreciate all you guys. Going to be a lot of cool things coming, not only crypto wise over the next year, but we got some really cool things we're working on the background. We'll give a little teaser here. We're working right now on a product that will allow you, if you so chose, to take crypto profits, roll it into an entity that's yours, and do it where it's tax deferred, and then you can take that money into other asset classes and invest however you want. Literally, imagine taking your crypto gains, rolling it into an entity, deferring the taxes, putting it into whatever you wanted for a year, year and a half, and coming back to crypto. Like, you can't beat that. There is not a product like this out there. We've looked at a lot of different things that frankly just didn't fit the bill. I don't want to put my money in things and get paid out over a decade. I want to use my money now. I want to be in charge of my money now.
That's why we moved to Puerto Rico, is because we didn't find a product like that. And now we have found a product like this that allows you to take profits in crypto and roll it into real world assets, and vice versa, real world assets into crypto. So very, very powerful stuff, guys. I despise paying the 3-letter agencies. I'm not going to say their names because I might get shut down, but I don't want to pay those guys because what the hell did they do? They didn't take the risk. I had to take the risk. Jeez. They didn't go through SEC FUD. They didn't sit through the SEC FUD. I did. And so they want to put their hand out and collect 30%. Well, I got a finger for them.
Yep, agreed. So we've got something for you guys. It'll be fun to talk more about that as we get closer. We're fine-tuning everything there, but I'm telling you, if you want to plan, you want to change your life forever, you want to freaking plan to actually not give your money away to the government, well, we got some stuff for you. So stay tuned. It'll be fun, you guys.
Cool, guys. We will see you mañana.
Sounds good. See you guys.